Okay, welcome. I am so grateful and happy to see so many people here and to share the opportunity and this information with you. So we are going to jump right into it. Maybe, hold on. Start recording. There we go. Now screen share. Okay, now we're working. We're good.
Woohoo!
All right, so I'm going to jump into this. I know there are other people that are going to jump in. Hopefully, I will notice and I'll be able to let them in. I am recording. Okay, so here we go. You can hear me, you can see me okay, just thumbs up. Cool. So the bonus class today is specific because it is all about getting into feminine energy, what that looks like, where you can actually start to feel like I belong. And the reason I decided to do this as a bonus and kind of open it up to more people, because I know that one, a lot of people have never even heard of masculine and feminine energy. They think that it's all about gender roles, and they think that it's something that, oh, I have to overcome this. And it's like, no, you need to embrace it, but you need to embrace what it actually is instead of what you've been programmed to believe it is, which are very different things. And so I had several people in the group that said, hey, I want to teach my sister about this, but I don't know if I can. And so I just went, I'll just open it up. It's totally fine. So if you do share this, let me quickly introduce myself, because otherwise you'll be like, who is this crazy person that's talking? My name is Laurel Huston. I specifically work with women who are stuck in overwhelm, hustle, comparison, and shame. And I teach them to find joy, desire, and excitement in their bodies, their money, and their intimate life again. That is my passion. I've been doing it for over 20 years now, and I absolutely love it. It's funny because there are some people that have known me for years and don't actually know what I teach about. And then they come to one of my classes and they're like, oh my goodness, why did I never know that you teach this? And I'm like, well, you never asked. So there's that. I do this mainly by teaching women about body mapping, which we will get into a little bit later. But for those of you that have heard of body mapping or you want to learn more about it, I do have a free Facebook group, and it's just Body Mapping with Laurel. Every single Monday, I do a call in there, a live, about a part of the body. And so when we talk about it later on in the call, if you're feeling like that's something I want to learn more about, jump into that free Facebook group. Every Monday, there's content in there. And so I would love to get to know you more and spend more time with you in there. We are just going to jump into this information because I'm going to try and keep this call to an hour because it's Saturday. You have other things you need to do. But I want to make sure that there's good usable information in here so that you can actually put it into practice. Most of the women who are getting this information, a lot of people are going to get it after the fact. They just spent 5 days in a class called Out of Overwhelm. And that is a mini course that I will be teaching multiple times throughout the year because it's having such huge impacts on women that I'm going to continue teaching it. And the beautiful part about it is if you join once, you get it over and over and over. Like you don't have to re-buy the class over and over and over. So 8 weeks from now, when I teach it again, anyone who's already in it gets it again. And those who are interested in it, talk to whatever friend sent you this video and she can get you involved in that. Okay, other things to know about me. I am a wife for 13 years and a mom of 3 kids, which I am currently homeschooling. Never thought that would be something I would be doing, but it is what felt right for my family. And so that is the direction that I took. And so when I teach women about getting out of overwhelm and staying out of overwhelm, it is something that I personally have had to really get involved in and really say, this is how I am going to continue to live my life. And these are things I will no longer allow in my life. And I am not going to sugarcoat it. There have been people that I haven't spoken to in months. And it isn't because we left on harsh terms. It was because I had to set rules and boundaries, and I had to say, you take more from me than you give. And I love you, But because I love me as well, and I'm allowed to love myself, I can have this interaction with you on a very short basis. And just evaluating my relationships with other people, whether they were acquaintances, business, religious, family, friends, I have started to recognize anytime you say yes to something, you are saying no to something else. So here is how I want to explain that. Every time I say yes to, yes, I'm going to cook for my family, means no, I'm not going to do work during this time. And when I started to reevaluate that, I gave myself permission to start saying, I choose A instead of B, and then I'd reverse it. I choose B instead of A. So for example, I'm going to go spend time with this very toxic person instead of spend time with my family. Now reverse that. I'm going to spend time with my family instead of go spend time with this very toxic person. And sometimes it's easy decision. I want an apple instead of an orange. I want an orange instead of an apple. Doesn't really matter. Both have vitamin C, both have fiber, both are healthy. Which one does my tongue want? Okay, so this isn't, and that's actually where I started to practice this. I started to practice it on simple things. I want to wear a long sleeve shirt or instead of a short sleeve shirt. I want to wear a short sleeve shirt instead of a long sleeve shirt. And that sounds so weird, but so many women don't actually know what they want. And so we have to give ourselves two choices, one or the other. And then it becomes really easy for us to say, this is a clear decision. This is what I want. I want to snuggle on the couch with my baby or mindlessly scroll through Facebook. Now reverse that. I want to mindlessly scroll through Facebook or I want to snuggle on the couch with my baby. Okay, now it's easier to be like, what do I actually want? And so I'm teaching this skill right here at the beginning because for so many women, they're in overwhelm because they don't know what they want. And because they don't know what they want, they have a really hard time with boundaries. They have a really hard time with saying yes when they mean no and no when they mean yes. And these are all things that we went over in detail in the Out of Overwhelm challenge or in the Out of Overwhelm mini course. And so for some of you, this is just a quick review. That's why I'm going over it. And for some of you, I want to give you just really quick tips to kind of help nudge you along your way in your progression with this. So I choose A instead of B and then reverse it. I choose B instead of A. I choose to serve this person who despises me instead of say no. I choose to say no instead of serve this person who despises me. And I want you to just feel that for a second. Do you all of a sudden have freedom that you didn't have before? Because now it's not that you're saying no, it's that you're choosing your own health, and that's important. So the reason I'm using some of these examples is because I've worked with thousands of women, and I know what your struggles are. Your struggles are relationships. Your struggles are feeling unsupported in your desires. Your struggles are that you don't even know what you want in life anymore because you have given so much to everyone that you love that without meaning to, you kind of have fallen into martyrdom. Everything I do is for everyone else. And I want to congratulate you for wanting to show love. May I teach you how to do it in a way that does not suck the life from you. Because that's what I am wanting to teach women. You can still be kind and compassionate and ambitious and bold and strong and loving and supportive. It's not an or, it's an and. You can be that strong, powerful woman at the same time of being caring and compassionate. You can be both of those things, but if you don't feel like you can be either of those things, you're lost and you're confused, and it puts you into a constant state of overwhelm because we have this programming that says, if I do more, then I'm worth more. And if I do less, then I'm worth less. Let me say that slower. If I do less, then I'm worth less. So we do, and we do, and we do, and we do, because we don't want to feel worthless. We want to feel like we matter, like we have value. So we put ourselves in this state of overwhelm and worry and hustle. And then we get to the end of the day and we go, what the crap did I even do today? And does anybody care? How do I know this, ladies? Because I spent almost 2 decades there. And then I was exhausted and my health went to crap. And I resented everyone in my life, including my husband and my children. And no one could do anything correctly unless they did it my way. But I didn't even do it my way. And I went, this cannot be what our life is supposed to be like. So I deep dived and I've done a lot of work. And so please keep in mind that this is an hour-long workshop that I'm trying to keep you out of brain explode and really just get you to the core of what the problem is. So is it okay if I, without pushing you into the deep end of the shark-infested waters, say, here's the pool. If you're ready to dive deep, then dive in. And if you're ready to just watch and see, that's okay too. Whatever level you're at, that's where I need you to be, plus up just a little bit. Stretch yourself just a little bit farther, okay? So I'm going to start really diving deep into the content here, but the very first thing I want to do is explain kind of the why I'm setting it up this way, which is this. This is called Maslow's hierarchy of human needs. And this, I absolutely love this pyramid. I've taught over 3,000 presentations in the last 4 years. And almost every presentation I've done has had this in it. It is not mine. I did not create it. It's from a psychologist from the 70s. And his whole thing was studying what makes people thrive versus survive versus slowly die. That's what he wanted to learn. And he discovered that our brain categorizes things in a certain level of importance. And when the base of the pyramid down here is not fulfilled, none of this happens. We don't worry about safety. We don't worry about our community or our support. We don't know where we belong and we don't care where we belong because we're just trying to stay alive. And how many of you go through your day feeling like, if I can just get through this day, if I can just get through this week, if I can just get through this month, you are down at the base of the pyramid. This is why you're not getting your goals. Goals are all the way up here in esteem and self-actualization. And you're like, man, why can't I run a 5K? Because you're sleep deprived. Because your nutrition sucks. And because you stopped showering because you're too tired to wake up early enough before your children get out of bed. Been there, totally understand. So my first suggestion to you is to give yourself some grace, because it's not about perfection, it's about progression. And now that you've heard this and you know better, I know you will do better. You're going to make better mistakes tomorrow than you made today. That's what life is. But you are going to make them. So Maslow's hierarchy, sorry, I'm looking at 2 screens. That's why I'm looking at the side. Maslow's hierarchy is all about meeting your physical needs first. So food, water, shelter, breathing, hygiene, sleep. In the United States, people without great deals of effort have access to food, clean water, and shelter. Okay, with very little effort, people in the United States can get food, water, and shelter. Do you know what most Americans are lacking? Sleep. And the ridiculous part about that is it's the one thing that costs you nothing and you have 100% control over. The second thing that most Americans are doing poorly is breathing. And I'm not getting political, don't even go there with me. We are holding our breath because we are in emotional pain. So think about it when I worked construction when I was in high school. And the first time, well, anytime you hit your hand with a hammer, you instinctively, and then you hold while you scream in pain. So because so many of us are in emotional pain, we breathe very shallow and we tend to hold in between our breath. And so just taking moments throughout the day to take deep breaths in through your nose and out through your mouth, just doing that alone is actually going to change whether or not your physical needs are being met. So once your physical needs are met, you have food, water, shelter, hygiene, you're breathing well, all of those things, then and only then do people care about safety. So if you are caught in a storm, and ironically it's raining right now, if you are caught in a storm and your choices are a well-lit gas station or a rundown shack with weird people standing out in front of it, okay? Those are your choices. It's a no-brainer. You're like, I'm going to go to the well-lit gas station, okay? But if you're caught in a storm and there isn't a well-lit gas station and there is trees or a rundown building, you're going to say, where will I be safer? Am I safer to stay in the woods and hide in the trees? Or am I safer to go to that building with creepy people in front of it? Okay, so when you have choice, when one level is met and you have choice at the next level, this is why I started with I choose A instead of B, I choose B instead of A. Because now you can say, which one makes me feel safe? So you go into the well-lit gas station, obviously. You walk into the well-lit gas station. The next thing your mind is going to look for is this, a sense of belonging. Now, you are not looking for your soulmate when you enter this gas station. You are looking for, who can I trust? Do I know anyone? Does anyone look familiar to my current status of life? Think about when you're walking around the grocery store, and when I had a newborn baby, any other mom that had a newborn baby, we would just look at each other and be like, I get you. Okay, that is this sense of belonging. So I'm not saying that your brain is automatically like, who is the love of my life? You're going in there and you're saying, who can I connect to? Who can I feel a sense of security? Because security is part of safety. So is trust. So you're looking around and you're saying, who can I trust? Where do I feel safe? As soon as you have that, you then try to make a connection to that person, a sense of, and this is why when people start conversations, they try to say things and ask questions that the other person will say, oh, me too. Are all of a sudden like 90% of your life making more sense? Just with this little pyramid, it's fine, I love it. So with belonging, this is a connection, this is commitment, this is intimacy, this is that, do we have something in common that I can now bond to you over? Okay. So we're going to stick with you're lost in the woods. So you're lost in the woods, you need shelter. You find a well-lit gas station. You walk in and you feel safe. You now, because you have a sense of security, no one's going to kick me out of here. I can try and find who I can trust, who I can connect with. Now that I've made a connection, oh, there's someone behind the cash register smiling at me. I can get my goal. Excuse me, my phone is dead and my car is too. Can I use your phone? There's my goal, and now I can reach it. Because when you're down here with your physical needs being met, most of the goals that you set for yourself are goals that improve your physical needs. If you want to know what level you're stuck on, all you have to do is look at your goals. If all of your goals are down here to improve your physical health, that's the level of that's where you're stuck. If all your levels are up here and you're trying to get routine and order and organization, that's the level you're stuck on. If everything is about relationships and commitments and connections and support, that's the level you're stuck on. If you have had goals that you start and then you go into procrastination or perfectionism, I call it the pop cycle. You go into perfectionism, then you go into overwhelm, then you go into procrastination. And then you pick a new goal and you do that over and over and over. So if that's where you're at here, that's where you're stuck on. If you're like, I've been searching for my purpose for years, for decades, now you know what level you're stuck on. So this is key. If you are stuck on wanting to improve relationships and you're like, all my relationships are falling apart, I just need to put more energy, more effort into my relationships. Wrong. You need to put more effort into what's supporting them. This level falls apart because this level isn't there. So don't misunderstand me. If you feel like my marriage is falling apart, or I don't have any good close friends, okay, then stop setting up play dates for your kids and work on safety and routines and boundaries. Because if you have crappy boundaries, you will never feel safety enough to bond with anyone and feel like you belong there. If you feel like okay, are we back? Sorry. I told you it was raining. I wasn't expecting to lose power. So we are back. Hope that you are still here. All right, right back into the content. Sorry about that little glitch. So with going through this pyramid and helping you establish where you're at, and then where you want to go, where you want to get to on this pyramid, the reason I am saying this is because after working with thousands of women, I know what level it is you're falling apart on. And for most women, it's their physical needs, but not in the way you think. It's because if you were to take this entire pyramid, just when it comes to your body, are you meeting your physical needs? And most women are going to say, yeah, I am. Really? So when your body says, I'm tired, you put your phone down and you go to sleep. When your body says, I'm thirsty, you take a drink instead of eat a cookie. So physical needs being met, especially for women, is that we do not trust our body. Our body has betrayed us. Our body gained weight. It stretched out. I wave and I stop and my arm doesn't. So there are all of these things that you no longer trust your body. So you don't feel like you belong in your body anymore. So no matter what goal you set for your body, you haven't been able to reach it. And I want to really help women figure out what it is that they need to do to feel like they are strong and connected to their body and all of their needs. So physical needs has to start with listening to your body again. But if you don't trust your body, you don't feel like you belong in your body. And I want to tell you one of the reasons why you don't feel like you belong in your body. So my first question is this: does any of this sound familiar to you? You get stuck in controlling and bossy and telling everyone what to do. And because you cannot be perfect, the world around you has to. So you tell everybody what to do and they didn't load the laundry correctly. And that's not where the toys go. And you're putting the dishes in the dishwasher wrong. And you are trying to control people over weird things. part of this is because when you feel out of control, we try to control the world around us. And we want to be perfect. And so we really get stuck in, see, Haley, I told you this is going to happen. So we really get stuck in wanting to get in that, if I'm perfect, then I'm more worthy of love. Okay, what about wanting to, you say, I want to help people, but really what you're trying to do is to fix all their problems. And this is why I'm going to give you a big hint here. Women want to fix other people's problems because then they don't have to deal with their own. If I can fix my husband, then I don't have to change myself. If I can fix my coworker, my mother-in-law, my neighbor, my sister, my whoever, then I can put all my time, attention, and love towards them, and then I'm selfless. Or I'm just ignoring the fact that I am allowed to improve and grow. So if you are constantly wanting to fix and help people, feeling like I never get what I want, or the opposite of that, I don't deserve blank, whether it's positive or negative. I don't know, will you let me view? I'm going to move this over here and then that'll stop popping up. Admit all. Okay. So no one appreciates me. I cannot even tell you how many times people in my life heard me say, do you even notice what I do for you? So then I had this time where I stopped saying, do you even notice? And I just started saying, my husband would come home from work and I'd say, I vacuumed the floor. Tell me how good this looks. And he'd go, wow, babe, the house really does look good. Thanks for vacuuming the floor. And that sounds so ridiculous, but it was so gratifying to me to hear him say, the house looks so good. Thank you for vacuuming. But here's the thing. He didn't know what it looked like before I vacuumed. So why would he notice that I vacuumed? So I had this manual in my head about how he should be acting and treating me that he didn't know about. And he just kept failing without knowing. So part of getting out of overwhelm and part of really stepping into building trust in your relationships and building the support you're wanting, if there is something you want, I wanted to be appreciated. I wanted my time, efforts, and talents to be acknowledged. I asked for it. So I would make a meal and then I would say, tell mom, thank you for cooking. And everyone would say, Mom, thanks for cooking. And I'd say, you're welcome. And then, whether or not they accepted or rejected the meal was a whole different conversation. But I wanted to be told thank you for cooking. And the thing is now my family knows that those things are important to me. But here's the difference. When you're in a totally emotional, hysterical state and you're screaming at your husband, you never tell me thank you for cleaning. And he's like, versus, I spent all day cleaning. Tell me I did a good job. Okay. One trains them to show appreciation. One trains them to fear you. So I did. And I will get dressed and I will get ready and I'll say, dear, tell me I'm beautiful. And he'll say, you are beautiful. And he genuinely means it. But is he going to think to say that to me? No, because there is not a man alive who walks around saying, tell me I'm handsome. It is not something that they need. And so whether it is your appearance, whether it is the way that you manage your home, there are things with work that I'll say, sweetheart, I got this, I have this many women that are coming to my live event. I'm so excited. Be excited with me. And he'll be like, I'm so excited. So there are, if you want people to follow your playbook, you have to let them read it. And that was a big aha for me. So that actually helped me get out of, I never get what I want and I don't deserve and no one appreciates me, because I started saying, because they would compliment me on things that I'm like, are you joking? I don't care. And then they're like, oh, okay, don't tell her thank you, don't compliment her. So I was training them to not tell me things that I wanted to hear. So they stopped. And then I resented them for it. Anyone else understand what I'm saying here? I know. I've worked with thousands of women. I know you get it. Okay. And this is the last part of it. I put so much effort and energy into life and felt like I got nothing. So if you can relate to any of those, the problem, which the core problem, like I can get through all of whatever, but I told you I was just going to kind of push in the deep end. It's that you are trying to find balance, but the balance that you think you're trying to find is not actually the balance you're looking for. It's not about time management. It is not about better communication. It is about getting into feminine energy and what that actually looks like. So, because some of you weren't in the 5-day mini course, let me explain the difference between masculine and feminine energy versus gender roles. Because I don't care who does your dishes, and I don't care who mows your lawn and changes your oil. Those are stereotypical gender roles. Those are tasks, and that's not what I'm talking about here. What I'm talking about is the energy behind what you're doing. So you can make a meal. My husband could make a meal. He does all the time. He's actually a better cook than I am. Anyway, so whether I make the meal or my husband makes the meal, if I make a meal in masculine energy, it's all about protecting and providing, and I feel drained. Because me making a meal in feminine energy means I'm nurturing and nourishing my family. Now, if you reverse that, if my husband makes a meal in feminine energy, it's nurturing and nourishing them, but it drains him. If he makes a meal in masculine energy, then he's protecting and providing them, and it empowers him. The task isn't what's important. The energy behind it is. Give me a thumbs up if that makes sense. Cool. So here is what this looks like in people when the relationship is off. Men feel lost, they withdraw, they get very defensive, they're very on edge, they're needy. They go into rebellion and people pleaser. So, yes, dear, whatever you say, dear, and then they do it with resentment, and then they go into procrastination. They shut down, they nitpick at you, they're very complacent, and they have insecure pleadings, like they beg you for things, usually sex, because they're trying to get connection. And it's not about animal urges or anything else that men get stereotyped into. It's because they're looking for bonding and connecting. But they can't, because you're in masculine energy and you're controlling and you're pushy and you go into martyrdom and you blame them and you feel stuck and you chase after clients and you chase after resources and you chase after friends and you spend a lot of time hidden because you're in a lot of hurt. You're very demanding. You want to fix everyone and everything but yourself. You spend a lot of time in judgment and pity, and you have a lot of unsatisfied longings, meaning there are things you want in life that you are just never going to have. And the reason for that is because when women are too high in masculine energy, they push people, they push resources, and they push money. And so all of these longings that they're wanting, they're not able to get because they're pushing. The literal energy that surrounds them pushes. It pushes people away so that they aren't bonding with them. So if you were to reverse that and go into feminine, the energy reverses and you pull. So I want to go back really quick to the pyramid. So why did that pop up? Did I do something? I don't know. Okay. So when women have stopped listening to their body says, I'm tired. And they say, oh, well, and they stay up. They lose trust and they feel unsafe. Oh, that's totally my issue. We're getting there. That's exactly what this class is about. So when women do not listen to their body because they don't like their body's betrayed them. Their body has stretch marks. Their body got fat. Their body has all these things on it that how dare it be imperfect and remind me that I'm not perfect. So we stop taking care of our physical needs. And because our physical needs are met, we don't have trust. When women feel unsafe, they go into masculine energy. So here's a couple scenarios that would do this. You're a little girl and you are loud and you love to show off and to sing and you're constantly being told, shh, be quiet, go away, shh. And in your little girl mind, you go, it's not safe to be heard. Okay, so then maybe you had a great childhood and you were allowed to be loud and garish and have a strong personality, or the opposite. You were allowed to be shy and no one forced you into meeting people you weren't ready to meet, whatever that looks like for you. So then you get older and maybe your body is changing before anyone else's and people notice and you don't want them to notice. And then they comment and you don't want them to comment. So then you hate your body even more because it's giving you attention that you don't want. So then you go even deeper into masculine energy because I need boundaries. I need walls. And then your body starts to gain weight because I don't want people to see me for who I really am. And fat is the fastest way to distort someone's body. So people can't see who you really are. So I get women that ask me all the time. So they're like, wait a second. So if you tell me I embrace who I really am, I will lose weight. Yes. But that's not as easy as it sounds because it's not about the food. It's never been about the food. It's you being able to say, I have safety in being me. It is safe to be heard. It is safe to be seen. It is safe to be loud. It is safe to be fun. It is safe to be shy. It is safe to be me. Because it's not about the food. It's about honoring you. So with just those two scenarios, 90% of the women who are on this call are already like, well, that's me. Because I was either told to shut up as a kid, or I was told there was something wrong with my body as a teenager, or let's assume you made it to adulthood and entered a relationship all while staying in feminine energy. Let's just pretend for a minute that that happens to someone. So then you get in a relationship and you're in feminine energy. Masculine energy thrives on pleasing the feminine. So you get a boyfriend and he wants nothing more than to please you. But you're scared because you've got some walls up and so he says, what do you want? And you answer him, kind of. You answer him with unexpressed expectations and he doesn't meet them. So now you say, see, no one does things the way I want them to. Or he says, I'll do it, and he does it wrong, meaning not the way you thought it should be done. So then you start telling him what to do, and he wants to please you. So you get bossy and decisive, and he goes into feminine energy so that he's easier to be guided. And some of you are like, so what if all three of those apply? I know they do. That is why so many women, when I go over this, they're like, ugh. And I say, okay, if you're still not sure if you're stuck in masculine energy, look at your husband. Is he needy and whiny and constantly wanting something from you that you're like, I cannot give you that. It is sucking the life from my soul to give any more than I am already giving. Okay, then we need to reverse. We need to get him into 70 to 80% masculine. He still needs that little bit of feminine energy. That's what makes him compassionate. That's what gives him empathy. That's what helps his intuition. So, and you still need that 20 to 30% of masculine with the rest of you in feminine energy, because you need to be able to be decisive. You need to be able to have ambition and to search and to do things that you're allowed to do all the time. So this is the scenario that happens all the time. You're not alone. Physiologically, when women are stuck in masculine energy, it affects their hips. You get achy hips. You usually will have extra weight on your hips. It'll affect your knees. It affects your lower back. It'll affect your ankles, and you'll have aching, or you'll have unknown pain. And no chiropractor or medicine helps get rid of that. It's because you are in chronic overwhelm and you are trying to protect yourself all the time. So now that I've painted this horrible picture that most of you can relate to all too well, can I show you the other side? Because I want you to know there is a place to go to and what that looks like. When women are able to trust. And here's the thing, you have spent decades trying to learn how to trust other people. That's not the person you needed to learn how to trust. The person you needed to learn how to trust was yourself. It was your own body. When your body says, I have to pee, stop folding laundry, get up off the couch and go to the bathroom. That shirt will still be there. When your body says, I'm hungry, go to the kitchen, open the fridge, not the pantry, and say, what are you hungry for? What do you need? And if your body actually says food, then eat something. But if your body says touch, close the fridge and go ask someone for a hug. You have spent thousands of hours, and for some women that find me, thousands of dollars trying to fix their marriage, their relationship with their parents, their relationship with their children, their relationship with their neighbor. And now I'm like, well, all you have to do is start listening to your body, and they either hate me for it or love me for it. Because the thing you have needed all along is the one thing that that's never left you. Start listening to your body. Now, on a side note, am I saying love yourself like it's some easy thing to do? No, I'm saying listen to yourself. Just listen. Start there. Because as you listen to your body, it will start to tell you things that you're like, oh, wow, I'm actually not hungry for food or sugar or soda. I'm hungry for attention. Who can I call? Who's a good listener? And it will make a big difference for you. But for a lot of women, because they have pushed in masculine energy for so long, you are in a place now that you do need to find women to be friends with. You do need to find a new tribe. You do need to find a new group. And I'm sorry, but you know how when you know something, you can't ever unknow it? From this point on, every woman you meet, you'll be like, she's totally in masculine energy. Why do I know this? Because I've had dozens of my clients come to me and be like, okay, I cannot sit in a room full of women anymore without being like, oh, she's totally in masculine energy. And they're not saying it from a judgment place. They're saying it from an aha place. Oh my goodness, we're all stuck there. We are all longing for connection. We are all longing to love our bodies. We are all trying to get to this place where we can pull people, resources, and money to us effortlessly, because that's what feminine energy does. And so what does it look like when a woman is in feminine energy? She has order and can organize easily without being controlling. Because here's the difference. Have you ever cleaned your kitchen and then took a breath and it wasn't anymore because someone else walked in it. So if you are in masculine, you are instantly like, what the crap are you doing? I just cleaned this kitchen. And if you are in feminine energy, you go, not my mess, not my problem. Put the knife in the sink, and then you walk out. When you are able to be in feminine energy, you pull people, resources, and money to you. And it's not a manipulation, it's seduction. And how many women are taught that seduction is evil, is wrong, is bad? And then you wonder why you can't get in feminine energy. Feminine energy is about pulling people, resources, and money to you so that you can organize it, use it to love, to nurture, to honor. That's why. And so if you're like, well, crap, our money sucks right now, it's because you're in masculine energy and you're pushing and here and you do it on purpose. You push the resources because you're like, I cannot handle anything more right now. You don't want the more resources. You don't want more money. You don't want more people. And it's because you're in masculine and masculine can't organize. So when you go into feminine, you go, I can handle more because I have really good boundaries. And if I don't actually want that, I can say, that doesn't work for me. Do you see how beautiful this is when it all comes together? So feminine energy is about nurturing and nourishing. It's about flow. It's about listening to your heart. So why else am I telling you need to start listening to your body again? Is your heart up here? Or is your heart in your body? Your heart is in your body. You have to be able to listen to your body to actually know your heart's desires. And intuition is not a head game. Intuition is a heart game. So if you are having problems discerning the inspiration you're wanting from your higher power or your universe, from God, whatever your word is, if you aren't understanding what's being whispered to you, it's because it's never been whispered to your head and it's always been whispered to your heart. Get back to your heart. That's why the Lord looketh on the heart, not the head, the heart. Listen to your body. Women do not want to be seen, or women in feminine energy are okay being seen and being okay being vulnerable because they know they have masculine energy that provides and protects for them. What that looks like when it's out of balance. So when men are in masculine energy or in feminine energy, that's when they get needy. So that is how the male internalizes being vulnerable when it's in too much feminine. When it's in balanced feminine, a man can be vulnerable. They can share their feelings and their emotions, and they can have those deep conversations with you that you want to have without them getting weird. So this is, but it's because the balance is 80% of them is here and 20% of them is here. So they still are that strong, protective being, but they can hold you and they can say, I understand, sweetheart. Instead of when 80% of them is being vulnerable and being seen and they don't know what to do with that because they can't protect you if they're vulnerable. So they shut you down, and crying is like, she's crying. What do I have to do to stop this? Did you want some chocolate? Or they just completely withdraw. It's not that they don't want to show compassion. It's that they literally don't know what to do because they're in the wrong energy. So then they overcompensate and they try to save you. Well, savior energy is when you're out of balance. When people go into savior complex, they're in the wrong energy, be it male or female. Hey, Christy. Okay. Other things that go along with this. When women, the things that actually like enhance and really help women to get into and stay in feminine energy, because feminine energy is all about seduction. And don't just think sexual seduction, think energy that pulls. Things flow to them. They thrive on desire, passion, and arousal. So, and yet those are such trigger words, especially for Christian women. I'm not supposed to be desirable. Arousal is bad. Passion, what's that? Well, this is why when people say, well, what do you want to do? You're like, I don't know, because you've completely shut down your passion towards life in general. And yet, as a little kid, watch your children. They live in passion and arousal because arousal isn't just sexual. They want to smell everything. Have you ever thought, I never thought that scented would come from my mouth, as you scream at your child, don't lick that. But they're trying to involve all of their senses because arousal is an awakening. So they're tasting, they're touching, they're feeling, they're seeing, they're smelling. And you're like, really? You smelled that? Why would you smell that? Because they're aroused, they're awake, they're full of passion and desire. And we shut it down because we are shut down. Now, don't misunderstand me. If your kid's like licking a wall in a public restroom or something, please stop them. But also recognize that they are alive and they are living, not just having a life. So, Laurel, you're telling me I have to start licking things? No. What I'm telling you is to start involving all of your senses. It is not hard to get into and stay in feminine energy once you are aware of what gets you there. So, something really simple to do. Next time you eat or drink something, do it slower. If I were to just take a drink, nothing. But if I actually drink slow and I'm like, what temperature is this water? Is there an aftertaste? What texture is this? How much pressure did I use on my tongue to suck before water came up? And I know that sound, you're like, that takes so much effort, but only in the beginning. Only in the beginning, because once you wake up your senses, life becomes easy and beautiful. And you become aware of things that you really do need to be aware of. And you block things that don't matter to you anymore. Oh, Michaela, I'm so glad. So if you want to understand inspiration and you want that intuition and you want that burning in your heart that helps you know what it is you want out of life, you have to wake up your senses. And you can't do that in masculine energy. Because in masculine energy, when you're in masculine energy and you wake up all your senses, you go into anxiety, you go into overthinking, you go into overwhelm, you go into hustle, you go into do more. And so I do energy stuff. And I know a lot of people that are in the energy world and they say, I'm going to wake up your spiritual gifts. And they do it in masculine energy. And then the person gains weight, has anxiety attacks, goes into depression, and has all sorts of problems. And I'm like, you are hurting people. Stop doing that. But when a woman is in feminine energy and she allows for that passion and that arousal, spiritual gifts naturally intensify because you're awake and you're connected to your body and you can easily get understanding and know what you need for your kids and know what you need for your family and know what you need for yourself. Because when your body says, I want to go to sleep, you go, we should take a nap. And the dishes will still be there in the morning. And maybe if I'm in feminine energy and my masculine provider and protector can see that I'm drained, he'll do the dishes in whatever way he sees fit. And I won't care because the dishes are done. Which is my next point. Getting into desire and out of demand. When you listen to your body and you increase trust, you are able to then answer the question, what do you want? Because right now, so many women don't know what they want. They're not listening to their body. They're stuck in their head. Their head has everyone else's programming in it. It has societies, it has parents, it has social media. Your head is probably the least trustworthy part of you. And yet it's the one we listen to the most. So desire comes from the heart. Desire literally means the Father. When you are listening to your heart, you are doing the will of the Father, of the universe, of your Heavenly Father, whatever you call him. That's what you're doing. So all of a sudden, it's easier to know what you want instead of demanding for it. So here's what that looks like. You remove the word you. When you are asking for something, remove you, because you is a demand. It could have a please and a thank you, but it's still a demand. I would love for you to wash the dishes, please. It's still a demand. Just because you said it nicely doesn't mean people don't still feel like they're being told what to do. Versus, I would love the dishes done. So here's the cool thing, because if you're in feminine energy, masculine energy thrives on pleasing the feminine. So what will he say? I'd love to help with the dishes, but not at first. I don't want to get your hopes up. This is not a one and done process, because you first have to establish trust. So you start by saying, I would love help with the dishes. Are you willing? And he says, sure. So he starts doing dishes, and he does them in a way that either purposefully annoys you or just he's doing his way. And you start to have an eye twitch, or you look at him, or you grunt, or you go, and he goes, what? And you say, nothing, thank you for your help. I trust you. And he goes, oh, okay. Because he has a lifetime with you of experience that tells him that you don't trust him. And then he helps you with the dishes. And you don't restack them. You just say thank you. And then later, he's working in his garage. So you go outside and you go, what you doing? And he tells you. And you instantly think of a more efficient or effective way to do it, because that is what feminine energy does. Feminine energy is all about efficiency and organization. Resist the urge to share. He didn't ask. He doesn't want to know. So if he's out there cleaning his garage and you say, well, if you would move all of these things first, you could do this easier. And he instantly gets defensive and mad. And now you're in a nothing fight. Okay. So instead, he says, well, I'm cleaning the garage. Why? Did you need something? Nope, I was just asking. Well, do you think I should do it differently? Because you've trained him to think he should do it differently, because you have an opinion about everything he's doing. So he says, why? Do you think I should do it differently? And you say, nope, I trust you. Whatever works for you. Unless you're like, ooh, you put the Christmas stuff up and I can't reach it. And then you say, the Christmas decorations are really high and I would love to be able to reach those. Did you hear how I said that? I did not say, will you move the Christmas decorations where I can get to them? I said, oh, the Christmas decorations are really high and I would love to be able to reach them. And now he goes, I can do that. So then he gets them down and he says, where do you want them? Because he's still testing you. And you say, wherever you think you know how tall I am. Because now you're not disrupting his plan. Because he has a plan. And he will put the box somewhere. And if he puts it somewhere and you're like, no, that really doesn't work for me, or you're like, I can deal with that. It's not where I would have put it, but that will work. You say, thank you. And then you walk away and you stop watching him do his whatever. Because it'll just give you an eye twitch and make you even more, you're just going to start telling him what to do. So the example I want to share with this is that my husband and I were putting together a bookshelf. And he loves to come in and tell me I'm doing it wrong. The reason he does this, if he can find fault with you, then he knows you need his protection. And men need a beauty to save, a battle to fight, and an adventure to go on. He's not nitpicking at you because he doesn't love you. He's trying to show you he is worth loving. You still want me, right? Look at these cool things I can do for you, but I have to point out to you that you're doing it wrong so that you then ask me for help so I can help you. Because you never ask me for help anymore, and so I don't think you need me. He's not nitpicking at you because he's a jackass. He's nitpicking at you because he's trying to say, do you still love me? Let me help you. Okay, so I'm putting together this bookshelf. I have my own toolkit. I used to work construction. I can put together a bookshelf. So he walks in and he says, do you need help with that? And I said, sure. So he took over the project because that's what they do. So he takes it over. And then he says, well, how do you want me to do this? And I had my moment because I'm like, follow the instructions or do it this way because, I'm already halfway done. And I just said, whatever you think. Because my desire was not to boss him around. My desire was to have a completed bookshelf. Therefore, whatever you think, I trust you. When you know your desire, you express it. My desire was not to belittle my husband. My desire was not to have it done my way. My desire was to have a bookshelf put together. Whatever you think, I trust you. So we put it together and we sat there and chatted through the whole thing. And I cannot even tell you how raw my tongue was by the time the bookshelf was built because I literally had to bite it so many times because I would have done it differently. But there is no part of me saying, why are you doing it like that? That would have helped the situation in any way. Because my desire was not to boss my husband around. My desire was to have a completed bookshelf. And here's the reason I share this story. Because when the bookshelf got done and I had what I wanted, he looked at me with the most love he has looked at me in years and said, thank you for letting me help you. I know you are stressed out. Did I get what I actually wanted? Did I get connection? Did I get my bookshelf? Did I get connection? Did I find a higher level of safety and trust with my husband that I have been longing for? Over a bookshelf and me not telling him what to do. I surrendered. Now before, I felt that one of you was like, what? Surrender does not mean that you quit. It means that you stop fighting. Was the bookshelf the hill I wanted to die on? No. Do you want to know why you always feel so unheard? It's because he's not listening. You're bossing him around and it demeans him. I'm not going to tell you what you want to hear. I'm telling you what's happening. If you want him to listen, he needs to feel trusted. Do you listen to people you don't trust? Do you share openly and honestly with people who don't trust you? So why would they? So here is why I'm telling you this. So many women are so stuck in overwhelm because they've stopped listening to their body. They've stopped trusting their relationships and they've gone into masculine energy. So they're pushing people, they're pushing resources, they're pushing money. And then they're wondering why they feel alone, unsupported, and like they don't have any friends. Why their body is betraying them over and over and over. And why they can't heal. Why they're stuck in anxiety, why they're stuck in depression. Well, they can't answer a simple question as to what do you want to eat tonight? Well, your head can't tell you what you want to eat. That's your stomach. And if you're not listening to your body, that's why you can't answer that question. So I told you I was going to tell you the root problem. And the root problem is you're in the wrong energy. Yes, you need to build trust and connection. Yes, you need to have routines and order and all of those beautiful things. that come easily when you're in feminine energy. And when you're not, you push people, you push resources, you don't listen to your emotions, you don't listen to your body, you don't want comfort because you don't want to be touched, because that will make you feel invaded. And yet, when you listen to your body and you get the sleep that you need, and you get the food that you need, you can snuggle the crap out of your kids and it just lights you up as you tell them, stop licking that. So yeah, I will never forget that. We were sitting at church and I look over and my 18-month-old is licking the wall. And I was like, stop licking the wall. But she goes, Mom, it's a cool texture. Fair enough. Stop licking the wall. So we have been, and this is because people have asked, well, do I need to teach my children this? No, you need to stop unteaching them this. They already know it. They live in passion. They live in arousal. They live in desire and intuition. They know what they want. And we program them out. And then they feel lost. So we have to reprogram. We have to help you reconnect with that. And then you know what support you need, and you know who you can trust, and you actually allow yourself to feel and heal. So I have these phrases here because I want you to start practicing them. I would love. Do you know what you really would love? And whatever you think, that does not say feel, that says think, that does not say want, because what people in masculine energy want is to please you. So if you say whatever you want, your husband goes, well, I want to please you, but I've guessed wrong for decades, so I don't know. And then he gets mad and defensive. Stop saying whatever you want and start saying whatever you think. I trust you. Unless you actually know what you want. And if he says, what do you want for dinner? I want Olive Garden. Cool. Let's go to Olive Garden. I don't know what I want to eat. I just know I don't want to cook. Oh, well, I can make dinner. Cool. Cook whatever you want to. I trust you. And then he makes you pancakes. That's fine. I'll make a smoothie. So there's some nutritional value in this meal. And then you say, thank you so much for making pancakes. I'm so grateful I didn't have to do that. I was really tired. And you show him the appreciation that you yourself are longing for. And you say, thank you so much for making pancakes. Does anyone want a smoothie to go with them? And if he says, oh, I can make you one. If you know what you want in it, you say, awesome, I want a strawberry banana smoothie. And you let him make you a strawberry banana smoothie. And if you're like, I just want fruits and vegetables, then you say, cool, whatever you come up with, as long as it has fruits and vegetables in it, will be awesome. And you know the people you live with, and you know, well, here's the thing, you don't actually know how you can and can't talk to them because you haven't been talking to them honestly. You've been telling them what you think they want to hear. So here is, because I hate when people teach you things and they don't give you any of the, oh, by the ways. So here's an, oh, by the way. The first time you look at someone who you have shown that you distrust and you say, whatever you think, I trust you. They'll know you're lying, and you are lying. You don't trust them. You have to build up to that. So they will test you. And you have to decide, what is it I really want? I want a stronger relationship with my husband. Is it okay if he turns all of our whites pink because he's trying to do the laundry for me? Yep, because that means I can buy new clothes. What do you really want? And when you say, whatever you think, I trust you, then start doing it on things that you're like, it really doesn't matter how that happens. Can I put these clothes away for you? Sure. I trust you. Well, where do they go? You don't know where the socks go? No, he doesn't, or he wouldn't have asked. So you say, yes, I would love help with that. They go here. And then you turn your back and you don't watch him. And he puts those socks in the drawer, however he puts those socks in the drawer. You don't start with like life-altering decisions that you just, because we will turn decision-making over to them under the guise of, I trust you. But really we don't, and we're terrified. And it's okay to say to them, I want to think about this because I do trust you, but I'm scared. When you try to stop your husband from accomplishing goals, know that it's not you being selfish, it's that part of you does not feel safety in the decision. So you don't say, I think you're making the wrong decision. How could you do this to us? You say, I'm scared. I'm scared that this will happen. And I'm scared that this will happen. Because now he has a way, and now he knows what he needs to do to fix you, to fix the situation, not you, excuse me. He knows what he needs to do, what effort he needs to put in to help you feel safe, because he now has purpose in being able to protect you. That's all he's ever wanted. From the first moment he fell in love with you, that's all he's ever wanted, was to protect you. You are more precious to him than you have ever realized. And in an effort to show you how much he loves you, he has surrendered his masculine energy so that you could be decisive. And then he went, wow, this is so much easier. I have no responsibility and nothing matters anymore. She'll just do it on her own. And he has no sense of purpose. And he just doesn't know what he's supposed to do anymore. Give him trust and you will give him himself back. And in the beautiful, you will get yourself back in return. So we're on a little over time, so I do want to wrap this up really quickly, but I know some of you are sitting here going, that's really good information. I think I know what I'm supposed to do, but you may not actually feel like you know, whoops, what was that? You may not actually feel like you know where to go from here. You may be feeling like, well, now what? Now what am I supposed to do? So practice these phrases. Start there. For some of you, it is actually you are ready to take the next step into actually finding a group of women that will help you and support you, that are going through this with you, that are trying and learning how to stay in feminine energy. They're seeing their world around them change because of that. And if you feel like that is something that you are ready to do and wanting to be a part of, then I invite you to join me in my Year of You program. So the Year of You journey is that. It is all about getting into and staying in feminine energy. It is teaching you how to implement all of these things that I taught you, plus so much more. It's the support that you are needing while you're like, ladies, I don't know if I trust my husband yet. I keep saying it. I don't know. And they can say, oh, I went through this, or yeah, I get it. I went through this. You don't have to be married for this group to be helpful to you. For some of you, it's I have one of the ladies that's in there. She works for the oil industries. So she is one out of 200 employees. She is the only woman. And she used to do everything about that job she did in masculine energy. She was bossy, she was controlling. And I taught her how to do it in feminine energy. And now the company is thriving. Hers is the only safety group that's meeting all of its specs because she is now leading from feminine instead of controlling from masculine. So it's beautiful. I have women that have never had a husband that are now dating good men because she's finding men that want to be her partner. Women in this journey are learning how to find safety in feminine energy. They are creating habits that sustain them, and they're doing it in feminine energy rather than masculine energy. So getting the things that you want don't drain you. They uplift you. You're able to get to those successes because you've done it in flow instead of push and hustle. These are just a couple of the examples of things that people in this group are getting. And if it's something that you're like, yes, that feels right for me, then I do. So you can either if you have your phone, if you just double click on your phone and put it up against the screen, it'll take you right to there, or you can type in that website, but that's how you can sign up. It is a $3,600 program, or you can pay monthly. It's $325 a month. because it's a 12-month program. I've had a couple of people say, oh my gosh, that's so much money. I know, because after working with thousands of women for over 20 years, I know the breaking point between, oh, well, I joined this group and it's so fun, but I don't have time for that, versus I'm in. I'm in. And they show up for the weekly calls and they participate in the Facebook group and they ask for other women's help and they put the audio practices into place and they ask questions on the calls and they actually take the mentoring and do something with it. Because I had someone ask, why do you have it priced there? Because I know the point between me and I'm in. That's really what the difference is. And for some of you, the thought right now is, how can I spend that much money on myself? My family needs this and this and this and this and this. Because remember what feminine energy does. Feminine energy pulls people, resources, and money to you. It will give you the things that you are longing for if you allow it, if you stop pushing away everything it is that you want. So the other thing that I forgot to mention in Out of Overwhelm, there are bonuses that go along with this. So the first bonus is that we will be doing a breathwork session. And what this breathwork session is, I actually teach you different breathing techniques to help you release past experiences. Emotions come up that you release them right then and there. I only do these for my private clients. So you get those as part of it. There's a money course that we do. It's called the Financial Thermostat. Just like when you go to your house and you adjust your temperature, I teach you how to adjust your money. Wouldn't it be nice if we really could just walk over to the wall and be like, I would like $2,000 more. That's literally what this course teaches you, is how to adjust that in your thinking, in your energy, and all of that. The one bonus that is the most helpful for most of the women is this one. It's called Making My Heart Whole and Complete Again. This is a meditation practice that actually helps you heal your broken heart. Because I have yet to meet a woman who hasn't had someone who she loved that didn't love her in the way she wanted to be loved. I have yet to meet a woman who hasn't given a piece of herself to her child, to her parent, to an ex-boyfriend, to a best friend, hoping that if she gave a piece of her heart to them, that they would love her more. Our hearts are not whole right now. So this meditation actually helps you learn how to put your heart back together again. Other bonuses with this, there's 2 live events. One is a retreat, one is a 3-day class. And the biggest one is probably the connection and the support, the community, so that you don't have to feel like you're doing this alone. If you were to put all of this together, the year-long class, the breath work, the financial mini course, the making your heart whole and complete, the live events, it's actually over $14,000 worth of things that you're getting. So if it speaks to you and it's something that you want, then come and join us. And just kind of lastly here, the thing that I want to say is that please remember, you are here to live, not just have a life. And living is about being awake. It's about having your senses, being able to say, this is what I want. We are here to live, not just have a life. And I have met far too many women that have a life, but they're not alive. And it breaks my heart. So if you are someone who wants to say a year from now, a month from now, I have amazing relationships there and they're in a place I never thought they would be. I have money that I never thought I would have. I have support and friendships that don't drain me. I have people I can turn to that I trust, that help me feel safe, that understand what I'm going through, and they do it without judgment. That's what this is. So really quick, before we end here, I want you to just think for a moment. Where is the place in your life that you can start to say, I want A instead of B, and hold to that? I want to spend more time with my family instead of more time cleaning my house. Well, is that true? Reverse it. I want to spend more time cleaning my house than I want to spend time with my family. You know that's not true. Well, now you know what you want. Will you let yourself have it? Will you let yourself have your wants and your desires? Will you let yourself get into and find safety in feminine energy? Because that is what is going to keep you out of overwhelm. That is what is going to give you a life of love and of passion and of being awake. That's what we are here to do in this life experience. So at this point, you have a couple options. You can rewatch this video. If you would like the replay of this and you're not in the Out of Overwhelm class, you can either private message me in the chat or just put in the chat, but make sure I have your email address and I can send you the recording of this. If you're in the Out of Overwhelm challenge, I'm going to post it in the Facebook group, so you'll have the replay. You can watch it as many times as you need to. If you are someone that you're like, what is this Out of Overwhelm challenge she keeps talking about and how did I miss it? Make sure I have your email address. In 8 weeks when I do it again, I will make sure that you are able to be in there and join us with that. And if you are just not sure where you're at and what you want to do right now, then find me on Facebook, go to groups, go to Body Mapping with Laurel, and every Monday at 2 o'clock Mountain Standard Time, I do about a 20-minute Facebook Live in there, and I would love to continue to mentor you and work with you and teach you. No matter what you choose, know that I genuinely do love you. I want you to have a better life. I want you to live, not just be alive. You are worthy of good things. Thank you so much for coming and spending this time with me. And I hope that you have a fabulous time. Thank you so much.